on, Houston, Texas? Today, we'll be discussing a topic that I feel like is way overdue and seems to be a very hot topic going into the 2020 NFL season, and that is everything regarding Mr. J.J. Watt. As you guys know, this upcoming season, J.J. Watt is scheduled to earn 2 more years left on his contract. 2020, $15 million, 15.5, and then 2021, 17.5. And I've heard a lot of things about J.J. Watt. There's been a lot of conversations. There's been comments on my own channel, discussing and talking about trading J.J. Watt, especially when they look at the numbers and that contract. And they also obviously weigh in the last few years that J.J. Watt has not given us a full season. Now, I think one thing that's very important for J.J. Watt this past season was that he was actually able to return from a pec injury, right? So most people had him gone for the year. I think we all did. And then said, his pec felt pretty good, came back, made an impact in the Bills game. And then, of course, because of all the time he's missed with the game against the Chiefs, there wasn't much impact from him there. Actually, when you even look at the tape, he looked pretty gassed. He looked pretty tired. But, man, just, looking at that particular contract, I know one thing that obviously J.J. Watt I don't think is considering is retiring in year 2022. So he's aiming to get a new contract, whether that is with the Houston Texans or that is with another organization, say the Packers, right? Where he is from in Wisconsin. And, he grew up being a fan of that team. So, very interesting to not only discuss this, but today he actually went on, I believe, First Thing First with Nick Wright. He was actually on there. They had interviewed him, so this actually fits in perfect. Well, we will be able to just hear a few of the questions that they were asking him regarding him and also the team. They actually did also get into the DeAndre Hopkins trade, so that is actually a good thing for us to react to. And I want to say it was a interesting take. Not only on that, but the first game against the Chiefs, and then what he plans to do here in the future. Now, when it comes to J.J. Watt, man, look, the dude is iconic. The dude has done great things for this team. But to me, no one's going to give you anything for him in a trade, right? If especially when you got Bill O'Brien as GM, right? If he couldn't get a first round for DeAndre Hopkins, why would you think that he's going to get a first for J.J. Watt? Teams will just literally look at him and say, dude, we're not giving you a first for J.J. Watt. And at the end of the day, they would have to take on $15 million and another $17 million for a player who, unfortunately, the last couple of years has been injured. Now, one of the few things that I will say as to the NFL and the 2020 season, as you guys know, tomorrow they will be reopening the facility. So I believe it's funny though, because they're opening the facility for the players, but they're not allowing the coaches to be there. I don't get what the difference is. You telling me a coach can't keep 6 feet away from a player? I don't understand. But the good thing is that based on a lot of things that are going on with NFL players right now, they seem to be bored. They seem to be getting into crimes and getting charged for things that they shouldn't be. As NFL players, you'd think that they'd be a little bit smart, especially when you're on a rookie contract and you're trying to really mail in the bag. It seems like these players have nothing to do, so the best thing that could have happened to them is facilities reopening. And I think that is across the league. So that's interesting to see. Another thing that I did notice that did come in my notification before I actually started this video was that they are trying to construct some type of face mask for players. Bro, we don't want to see players getting suffocated out there, not being able to breathe. So, listen, just if you got to go to that extent with players, then push it back a month. and just don't start in September. But for you to get into that, I'll give my opinions about COVID another day. At this point, let's get it over with, right? So looking at J.J. Watt, man, in his interview off the bat with Nick Wright, they go into his injuries. They go into the DeAndre Hopkins trade, and then they go into his expectations of the Texans and the 2020 season. So let's take a listen.
We were talking off the air. I was down in Houston right after you got to Houston, right when you were exploding onto the scene, becoming the NFL's best defensive player. You still have the NFL all-time record for most sacks per game in NFL history. You're tied for the most Defensive Player of the Year awards ever. In your last 5 healthy seasons, 80 games, 85 sacks. The key word there, though, is healthy. How frustrating has it been the last half-decade at this point that you work as hard as you do and you've had seasons cut short due to injury?
Yeah, I mean, it's extremely frustrating. There's no doubt about it. I mean, whenever you have to deal with something like that as an athlete, all you want to do is be out there with your teammates and play the game and be able to contribute and help win. And so when you can't do that, it's tough. And then the worst part of it all is having to go through the rehab process and every single day not be able to do the things you know you can do and the things you know you want to be able to do. So I've learned a lot from it. I mean, it's forced me to grow as a human and to just learn a lot about myself. Would I go back and not have any of them if I could? Absolutely. But I can say that I have learned some things from it, and I'm looking forward to this season and the ability to go back on the field.
Now, when he talks about the things that he's learned from his injuries, obviously, as you guys know, the way that J.J. Watt used to train and the videos that he's posted out there of how, I don't want to say, I guess how hard he trained, he's obviously has changed that with the injuries that have come with that. Obviously, a back injury, a leg injury, pec injury, all these things that really begin to change. First of all, your mentality start to change, your body, and basically everything around the way that you now begin to focus on with your body. But with that, man, the reason why I don't think J.J. Watt is going to go out with an injury this year is simply because of our defensive coordinator and everything that he is going to do with this defense. He seems to be part of that slogan that Bill O'Brien had where he said layers on layers, right? You got plenty of people on the defensive line. You have linebackers. You have cornerbacks. You have safeties. And so with him blitzing with corners, with him blitzing with safeties, with him blitzing with linebackers and blitzing, not blitzing with linebackers, but sacking and putting pressure with defensive linemen, there will. I do truly believe that there will be reps that J.J. Watt will be on the sideline and he will not be on there every down. And with that, you give him the opportunity and the chances to be there at the end of the year and not have to go through another injury. One of the things that he did mention there is, just how hard it is to have to continue to go through rehab. We not only heard it from J.J. Watt now, but we've heard that same sentiment when it came to Andrew Luck. That's one of the reasons why he said that he went into retirement. He was tired of going through rehab just to get back on the field. And when you get back on the field, go down with an injury. So here is a toast to J.J. Watt and hoping that he has a successful and healthy 2020 NFL season. And to be honest, for the whole Houston Texans, because we definitely need it, man, especially in a year like this. It'll be great to see that. But yeah, man, let's hear what's next.
JJ, let's look at the schedule. So week 1, you travel to Kansas City, you take on the Chiefs. And then week 2, you guys host the Ravens. Which quarterback is more appetizing to you, Patrick Mahomes or Lamar Jackson? Who's a little harder to game plan for?
It's always the first one. So, I mean, we're going with the Chiefs first. They're two different, obviously, teams in general. Last year I got to play against the Chiefs, obviously, and I didn't get a chance to play in the game against the Ravens. So I'm looking forward to both of those opportunities. And it's a chance right out of the gate to find out what you got. And we really look forward to that. I mean, if you're going to go out, if you're going to come out of the season hot, you might as well come out against two of the best teams in the league and stack yourself up against them. And I think we're really looking forward to that challenge. And then even more so, week 3, the Steelers and playing against my brothers. Looking forward to that opportunity as well.
So one of the things that I picked up there is I totally had forgot that J.J. Watt had not played against the Ravens. Not sure how much impact he would have had in that game. Obviously, we know J.J. Watt is an impactful player, but given the injury, we don't know truly what we would have gotten from him that game. Ultimately, I still feel like that our team did not come out prepared at all, sluggish throughout the whole game, didn't ever wake up, and at the end, the Ravens let you score a touchdown. I mean, just to put the game away, right? On top of that, he did mention that, how important it is to focus on the first game, which is the Chiefs, and to come out hot. And if you're going to come out hot, why not be against top competition? So it's obvious that the sentiment and everyone on the Texans is on the same page, which is, look, we have a tough road. We have a couple of hard games to begin with. So look, we need to get right, and we need to do it right from the beginning, because like I said, this ultimately could go down bad. If they start 0-4, I don't say that because I can't see a team led by Deshaun Watson start 0-4. But this team chooses to go 0-4, man, do they have a tough road after that, right? Are they capable of coming back 0-4? Look, they've done it when they were down 0-3. But ultimately, you don't want to see your team fall in that type of hole. And I got them split in 2-2. But it's very important that they're aware. And from the sounds of it, whether it's been J.J. Watt, whether it's been Reed, whether it's been Titus Howard, whether it's been Lonnie, whether it's been Deshaun Watson, they all seem to have the same mentality, which is, look, we lost horribly in the divisional round. We lost against the Chiefs. And now we have an opportunity from the start, from the gap, to get right to it and get right to business and not play any damn games. Not look at an opponent lesser, because in week one, I don't know, who could they be playing? The Cleveland Browns or the Detroit Lions? They have to take the team serious from week one, and week two doesn't get any harder because they face Lamar Jackson. So that's great to hear, and good to know that the whole team is on the same page.
JJ.
Now this question right here with Nick Wright, I really appreciate the way that he asked this, because he knows the culture that is the Houston Texans. He knows how things are done here in Houston. And so the way that he asked this question is done, I think, with a good way of finessing it in order to get the answer that we really, truly are wanting. And I think ultimately we get the answer that J.J. Watt probably wouldn't have gave any other reporter.
Hey, I understand you're a player, not a GM. You've said, things are above your pay grade. I think you're the highest paid player in the history of the team, so I don't know if anything's above your pay grade, but we understand what you mean. But when you lose a friend, when Nuke gets traded away, not only a friend, but one of the best players on the team, what's the immediate reaction to it?
I mean, it's tough. I mean, he's an unbelievable player. I've said I believe he has the best hands in the game. The guy can catch literally anything that you throw his way. But I think that one thing that people don't realize when you're talking publicly, they want you to say all these things. I think that people have to realize that not only did we trade away a guy who's a friend, a teammate who's been with me for years, but you're also bringing in new guys in a trade that if you go out in public and you say all these things, you say, oh, we want that guy, why did we lose that guy? Well, at the exact same time, you're telling these brand new teammates that you're bringing in, we're mad that you're here. So it's just, that's not how the world works. You can't operate like that as an athlete. No matter how much I do want DeAndre here, and I wish that he was here, I also am excited about the new guys that we have and looking forward to have them on the team. So anybody who wants me to come out and say all these negative things or anything, I'm not going to do it. Do I think DeAndre is an unbelievable player, and am I going to miss watching him make circus catches every week? Yes.
Which, look, I think he gave a very true, honest question. And I think a lot of people have, not a lot of people, I'm not going to say a lot of people, but I have seen this take before, where when it originally and freshly happened, everybody was so mad that the only person besides O'Brien who they basically were fired up about was also David Johnson, because I saw a post about him being called washed and his best years were after him, and we got this freaking trash player. We didn't get nothing for DeAndre Hopkins. We basically just got a second. And so, obviously, I saw many tags to him. I saw comments on his own page when he was saying, "What's up, Houston?" and all things like that. But ultimately, I think those things have settled a little bit. But, I mean, he's right. I mean, you can't be mad at the players that they've brought in. I mean, all you can do is really embrace those particular players and, let them know what they can expect from the season. Let them know that, hey, even though we've lost this particular player and we're really mad about it, welcome to the team, and I hope that you're worth it, really. And what we can do is really just help you along the way and not make you feel like the enemy for the team, because ultimately, look, every ego is different, right? But with David Johnson, look, he just came from a scenario where he wasn't wanted, and obviously he talked about it in his press conference where he felt like O'Brien opened his arms and actually went and got him. And obviously David Johnson sees that the trade not only was for a second-round pick, but it was for DeAndre Hopkins, an all-pro, a future Hall of Famer. And so that motivates him to continue to work and work hard. You've seen it in the offseason. You've seen the videos that he's posted. He's working hard to be that player like he was in 2016 for the Houston Texans. And I hope that does come true. But ultimately, I think there is a lot of variables, and not just about him. It's obviously also about the offensive line. Obviously, it's also about Bill O'Brien and his scheming, and Tim Kelly being allowed to actually call plays. So, here's a toast. Here's another toast to David Johnson and being a good player. Here's a toast to DeAndre Hopkins and balling and ultimately achieving his goals as well, because we're going to miss him. He was one heck of a player for this city, and definitely, I definitely believe that he was a veteran. He was a leader in that locker room, and he helped Deshaun Watson with quite a lot. But let's keep listening.
Another former teammate, Jadeveon Clowney, played with him for 5 years, still a free agent. Are you surprised that he's still on the market and available to teams?
He'll find a team, he'll find an opportunity, and he'll go out there and he'll wreak havoc like he does. He's a great player. He makes a lot of things happen, and he'll find a team, no problem.
All right.
Quick and short, to the point. Jadeveon Clowney is one heck of a player right now. Unfortunately, the market is telling him that he's not worth it. Unfortunately, I think the worst thing that could have happened to him last year was him going down with an injury. He has had consistent. I think he hadn't been healthy since his rookie year or his sophomore year with us. So, for him to go down with an injury when he's looking to really reach that goal and that contract was just unfortunate for him. But look, man, you got to give credit to that player, man. He was actually still out there playing through that pain, and he basically gave everything for Seattle. Obviously, is also to get a contract, but look, he could have just melted in and said, "No, I'm not gonna play," and not risk it. So hopefully, man, he gets a contract. Hopefully, he gets signed, and I hope this not silence.
JJ, you mentioned, looking at the first game is the most important one, and I know that's always been your mentality, and I'll be quick here, but given the fact that the first game does happen to be the immediate opportunity to avenge what was a playoff defeat and a really crushing one, was there a little added excitement that we don't have to wait for Kansas City, we get them immediately?
Yeah, it's definitely an exciting opportunity to get right back in that same place, get right back against that same team, and have an opportunity to go out there and compete again. Obviously, we don't even want to think about what happened last time. It was horrible. That's not the way that we want to remember our time there. So we're looking forward to an opportunity to go up there and create some new memories there. And what better way to start out a season against the champs? If you want to be the champs, you got to beat the champs. So we're looking forward to that opportunity.
Now, I find that quite interesting, right? Because he talks about, man, we definitely embrace the challenge. We definitely want to go against the champs. We definitely know that you got to beat the champs in order to be the champs. And all that is good. But one of the things that he did mention there is the fact that they want to go and create new memories in Arrowhead. And not remember the memory of that January game in Arrowhead where they were up 24-0 and they let that go. And I think what hurts them the most is not just losing that game, is knowing what was happening and what was coming after that, which is you were gonna come home and play the Titans at home with an opportunity to go to the Super Bowl. Like, If anyone says, hey, listen, what would you take? Would you take a defeat in a divisional round? Or would you rather have and host an AFC championship against the Titans in order to go to the Super Bowl and face the 49ers? I'm pretty sure everyone would have chose to play an NRG and have an opportunity to play in the Super Bowl. And here's the thing that bugs me the most. Deshaun Watson had a streak going on where his third year of any level of football that he's played in, he has won a championship. His junior year in Clemson, won a championship, national championship. His junior year in high school, won a state championship. So for us to break that streak that Deshaun Watson had going, that's why I tell you guys, man, it just seemed like everything was aligning for us last year, and we found a way, not we, but Bill O'Brien found a way to really blow that. But listen, I'm all for you guys creating new memories, as long as they're great memories. And I truly believe they're going to go into Arrowhead with a chip on their shoulder. And I just hope that they remember that chip on their shoulder all game, and they do not take their foot off the pedal. And you say to the Chiefs, listen, what happened in January was a fluke. We let you guys beat us. You guys are not the better team. And if they can do that, then they definitely are going to put the league on notice. It definitely is going to make the Ravens come prepared for week 2. And I hope that they don't answer week 2 with like a typical Bill O'Brien game where he exceeds people's expectations and then he follows it by being below the bar, right? So we definitely want to see the Houston Texans come out of that first 4 games at the minimum, at the very least, 2-2. If you can go 4-0, that'd be great. I just don't see it. But going 1-3 or going 0-4, those are things that are unacceptable. Those are holes that you don't want to get into. So here is another toast to the Houston Texans and their season, and to them going, as I'm predicting, 13-3 and getting right back into the playoffs with another opportunity to make some noise. You guys take it easy. Have a great week. We'll be back on Friday with another video. You guys like it. You guys subscribe to this. And you guys share it with your friends. Take it easy, baby. H-Town. Let's get it.